然后他是应用所早期的学生，他是那个纤维组毕业的，然后就说，可是很聪明，就是说他做的都是当代艺术，也就是说用工艺的技术材料的那个东西呢，加上当代艺术的概念，让他做很多当代艺术的参与，然后就在当代艺术里头也很出名这样。我个人就是很荣幸在2006年认识康雅竹老师，有跟他合作过。然后那时候是在那个阿里山的那个莱吉部落，然后那时候我就很惊艳，他就是有办法在莱吉山上找一些树皮，一些就说天然的那个植物的材料，然后来去就说那么把它的纤维就说弄出来，然后去做很多的东西，包括做纸啊，做什么就说一些纤维的制品这样子。我就很佩服他。后来在很多地方，包括什么那个月经港艺术节啦，什么地方都看到他。我说他真的是非常的就说那个火药哦，然后就也是我们在就大半时间都在国外的一个台湾艺术家这样子哦。然后我们今天就请那个汉雅竹老师看。
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. And first of all, thanks University to invite me and organize this speech. So the topic today is about international AIR project experience. So what's AIR? It's Artist in Residency. So I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see my presentation. And before I start to tell the story of my residency, I know today is the lesson-based class, but I would like to open up the conversation and dialogue with everyone. So if anyone have any comment or question, welcome to leave the message below so I can answer and have some like a QR code in the end of the presentation, okay? Okay. So in case everyone doesn't know me, so I'm going to read this for the beginning. So I'm a multidisciplinary artist working with various media. I base my cultural research and social appearance through field research and self-reflection in order to find a position in present. Furthermore, my practice focuses on questioning the circumstances of the relationship between human nature and social issues. I conduct my art and research based on textile culture, history, and contemporary social behavior appearance. My work discusses the relationship between workmen's skill and physical labor, life condition and migration possibility, economic trade and social structure. How does the modernity today influence tradition, economy, systemic, and nature environment? My travel and residency experience have shaped my perception. The theme often reflects on the boundary, life, and process. I work in a particular manner, progressing reaction and interiors often relate to textile process. Textiles serve as tool for recording stories and information. I use many soft material and found objects to create simulation sculpture on a large scale. I'm not only interested in fabric material per se, I'm interested in the cultural value and social topic for discussion associated with the textile and nature. So my work involved with drawing, sculpture, site-specific installation, environmental art, textile, sound, and video. So I was selecting what kind of work to begin with. This is a sculpture installation I did in 2016 in Fine Art, Taipei Fine Art Museum. So I created a giant big bag of sculpture and something coming out like skeleton as a human body and a weaving loom. So you can see from this image. And I used a lot of shoelace to weave this tapestry. So it's kind of presenting myself. I think this is kind of like representing how I'm being an artist, like the drawing I did on the right side of this image. So I do a lot of collecting, observing, learning, and working. So I think for today, the main thing I'm going to share my residency experience with everyone. So I choose several residency projects I did in the past before COVID-19. So this one first I want to share is the contemporary textile art biennial. I participate in Portugal in 2018. Contextile invite all artists, national and internationally, to present artwork for selection to the international exhibition. And it took place in the city of Guimarães, Portugal. So you can see the map here on the left side. So this Lisbon is the capital city. So most people, tourists go there, they go there. But the residency project is located here, a very small town called Guimarães. So for this art in residency project, before they open call, they already announced that they want artists to work with a printing factory or printing work studio or weaving company. So I submit my proposal and I already know what I'm going to do. The main thing is collaborate with the jacquard weaving company in Guimarães. So here just showing some of the photo of the city to let everyone know about the culture in Portugal. So you can see they have many like a colorful, beautiful tile. And this is the view of Guimarães. So why this event happening in that place? Because it's a historic town center, has been listed as a World Heritage Site since 2001. And they have many like leather and textile industry around 17th and 18th century. And this is the pop-up office of this exhibition. So because most of people, they wasn't living there, they were living the main bigger city next by Guimarães, so they have to set up everything just to arrive several months before the exhibition. And because I was participating with this art residency, so I arrived like 1.5 months, 2 months ahead before the exhibition started. And this is the way from where our accommodation to the studio. And I think it was really lucky that when I was there was summertime, so they have many cultural events. You can see the performers or like different culture related activity happening. And they also organize this welcome talk. And this year they particularly focus on the concept about inorganic. So the organic is understood as something that is alive, deeply rooted and layered. It is pure, essential, and innate, yet at the same time part of the nature of something or someone. This can be related to intervention as process, intertwining and unlacing. The organ is as fundamental to the body as community is a fundamental element that sustains a territory. While organic refer to living system, inorganic relate to non-living matter. And from the photo, you can see there are like a director and artists. And this exhibition, they also collaborate with Canada, Quebec, and Europe called Magic Carpet organization. So the artists here, only me and this artists from Poland are for residency project. Others are from another project, but also doing residency at the same time. So this is the event. So of course you got to enjoy the food there. And this is the curator. And at that year, they also have invited artists. And I think everyone who loves textile, they all know this artist, very famous, Anne Hamilton from United States. So she also gave everyone talk, and this is how she work. She brought a group of students there and working together and create a really big solo exhibition. I was lucky enough to see that. So in the beginning, we have to like go around, try to observe the idea. Although I know I'm going to work with a textile company, but actually I don't really know what's the detail. What am I going to do? And this is an archaeological museum in Guimarães. And they also have the Museum of Memory. So inside the museum, you can see a lot of photo documentary and the tour from before, people wearing the traditional costume, and some collection from the past. And of course, the residency, the most important thing is exchanging the idea with other artists. So sometimes we will gathering together, eating meal, sharing the cooking. And you have to deal with your daily life by yourself. Go to market, find the food. And this is a local market. I saw they were selling rabbit actually. And sausage is also a kind of local food in their daily life. And this is the local meal, a lot of seafood. Of course, I didn't cook them. They are from the restaurant. And this is in the center of the city. And you can see many people, like in the afternoon, people will go to the cafe and read the newspaper and enjoy their life. And in the afternoon, it's a cafe, but until nighttime, it's become bar. And Super Bug is the local beer that I have. And because during summer, this is outside of the Contemporary Art Museum. They also host the event there. So this is like live music concert in the nighttime. And as I say, summertime, so during the day, it's really hot. So it's difficult to do anything outdoor. So a lot of event was happening at night. And this is a view from that week. It's about jazz music festival, and they have this parade. And people from the community, they were all join this parade. They were dressed up with their traditional costume. And from this photo, you can see people are holding this tool from weaving, spinning, and different things. So you can see how weaving are connecting to their life and culture, and the dance, and even the jewelry also reflects to the textile. So the right image is showing the Guimarães embroidery. This is their traditional craft. So now I'm going to show you some video about this festival. So you can see they're processing textile. Although I don't understand Portuguese, but I think I can guess what they're performing about. And there's another video. I want to show you how they wear their traditional uniform and dance. Okay, so I was quite fascinating with the skirt spinning in circle. So as I say, Gimali's embroidery on flax fabrics is their traditional craft. So the organization also hosts this workshop event and invite artists to participate. So we could learn how to do this embroidery from the local woman. So what am I going to do at that residency project? So this is spelling wrong, studio space. So this is a studio space they gave us. This is located in the church. And the church is next by this castle. And inside the church have this empty room. So this architecture before was hospital and elementary school before, and now it's only church. So they got so many empty space. And because working as a site-specific installation artist, I have to know what kind of work I'm going to present, and I need to see the space and feel the space. So actually, in the beginning, the space they gave me, I wasn't satisfied with because it's so small and I have to share with other artists. And I look around and I found so many empty space. So I was asking if I can use other space. So yes, I can use other space, but I have to clean by myself because they don't want to spend extra energy doing that. But they clean out all this stuff for me. I like this space. It's pretty big, so I want to install my work here. So this is the preparation. And other artists, their exhibition space is like this open area. I don't really have feeling about that. So in that city, I found there are many this kind of thing. Do you know what's that? It looks like tank. It's a washing tank actually, and all this tank all built next by the river. And this is a washing tank that before washing machine was invented. So people they have to bring their laundry to there to clean and wash. And this is kind of like individual small tank they use in their house. So because washing machine, a lot of these are abandoned, they don't need it anymore. I found a map and found there are 5 tanks around this small town. So I mark them on the map and I go to this tank. So this is the tank that women from the community, it's kind of like their routine. They only wash on Wednesday and Friday when the water in the tank was changed. So you can see they are doing laundry. So I was inspired by this. Then I start walk around every day, try to go to this tank and try to find something. So what was I looking for? I was afraid I would fall into the water because I found this thing. Can you see what's that? Is there anyone want to answer me?
Oh, no, it's difficult to recognize.
This here on the laptop image, this.
Soap.
Yes, they are soap. Thank you.
Bravo.
So I found this soap. They are left over or forgotten from this woman. and they have different shape. So I quite like them. So I make a decision that I'm going around every day and collecting this leftover soap. So sometimes I have to wait until they are cleaning the tank and I can see the soap was sinking at the bottom of the tank, or try to look at every corner. It's pretty interesting actually, like here or in the river. So in the end, these are the soap I collect. So I think what?
Are they chemical soap or natural soap?
Pardon?
The soap are made of material, chemical material or natural material?
Nature material.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
Yeah. So they use a lot of this soap. They are actually very old brands. The soap were made by animal fat and salt and some other thing. So I start collecting them, and my sculpture will base on this shape. So if I found the soap, I can create my sculpture. But if I don't find the soap, I cannot make anything. So in the end, this is how much I collect. And I write down the date and location, and I create this form based on this shape of the soap. And because I have to work with Jakarta weaving textile company, so I have to visit them and see what kind of textile they can create and their ability. So we need to have meeting first. And Jakarta weaving is the computer controlled loom that you can weave the very realistic image. You can weave that image by hand. So I have to discuss with the designer, and after she received my image, she need to place the pattern and the color. So what kind of image I use? Before that, I walk around the city and start taking different type of photo and try to play with the image, and then I create this. So the inspiration is from this museum that I saw the painting on the wall. And because the time, you can see the color are falling apart. So I create this. And this is the weaving process. So you can see it's working very fast. How can I do that by hand?
So that's computer who design all this. The computer design all this.
Yes.
哦，电脑提花梭织吗？
对，所以你看到这每一根绿绿的啊，
哎，
它都可以提起这个下
不同的色，
面的每一条经线，
是
所以
是，
它可以做出非常写实的图案。
所以是给他照片，然后他就
对，
可以
给它图片，但是还是要经过人手工去置入图档跟那个
哦
纹样，然后安排线的颜色。
哦，对
对，
对，
然后人要在旁边一直巡逻，看有错误的时候，必须要停止织机的运作，才能修复那个错误。
要不然戳下去就不能改了哦。
对。
哦，谢谢谢谢谢谢。
So actually, I participate with the exhibition is because I want to work with this company. That's my goal. So this is when the textile were done. So we went there to pick up the textile. I was quite excited to work with them. And then I bring them back to my studio and I use this textile to cover the form of the sculpture. And then I install my work in this space. So this is the final presentation. And I title my work as cartilage. So cartilage is the concept of expressing link between individual and society, and between past and current form of communication. In physical body, cartilage has a supporting and connecting function. In this world, cartilage has a transforming and relating meaning. And you can see there's a printout documentary on the wall that I'm showing all the image of my soap collection and the map of the city marking where the tank are. And here you can see this. This is the soap. And this image is the trace from a coin that I found from a free market in Portugal. And it's a coin about Taiwan. So in the space, I kind of create the soap as this blue leather and kind of representing water. And this blue thing are the leftover leather scrap. So this is different view from the exhibition. So after that, I represent this work in Taiwan again, but I show it in different way. And I also make a video, so I can show everyone the video.
Is this you in the video or not? The local lady. Oh, sorry.
So actually, they're washing everything there, from clothes, underwear, shoes, carpets, everything. So when I was like going there so often, taking photo of them, I try to merge into the community. So one day I bring my thing there. I bring a pair of socks and my soap to there to wash and try to talk with them. But it was very difficult, you know. I probably washed my sock for 10 minutes. Now they are singing in the video.
他们唱歌是因为你在拍他们，还是他们本来就是在唱歌？
他们在唱歌。
他本来就在唱，还是因为你拍他们？
对，
不是因为你拍才唱的。
他们就是会一边洗一边聊天，
唱
然后一边唱歌一边八卦。
真的，真好。你这洗10分钟就走了。 你就袜子洗完你就走了
啊？
你就袜子洗10分钟你就离开了。
袜子洗10分钟，因为我只带那双袜子，但是试着要跟他们讲话。
他们都
大
不理你。
概是20年来洗的最干净的一双袜子吧。所以为什么我会对那个肥皂如此着迷啊？因为我觉得那个肥皂它就记录了那个当下不同人使用肥皂所产生的形状，然后为什么被留在那里。
可那个水这样干净吗？就这么东西都在那边洗，它不是流动的。
对啊，不是，它某个部分有稍微流动，有放一些水，所以大家都只有在星期三跟星期五会去洗，因为过了星期三、星期五之后水就变脏了，所以其他天几乎都没有人。
好，洗温泉一样哦，就别人洗过你再洗这样的。啊，对不起，对不起。
差不多的概念。And not just the tank, they also have this tank in another side of the city. So this is the leather tank. And this is a area they have soap factory before. And so I visit this leather factory and see how they work with that leather. The leather industry require a lot of water. And from the beginning, how they deal with the raw leather and measure the thickness. So they have this scrap. They don't need them anymore. So that's why I collect them. And the final process is they have to sand the leather to make it smooth. So they have this giant big vacuum machine that suck all the powder, leather powder into this bag. So I saw this powder. It's inspired me to create a new work of my dirt carpet series. So this is how I collecting them for my installation. And this is before the opening. And you see this small room that I create my dirt copy there. And you can see the wall is very colorful. And here they show this image. You can see there's no picture on the wall because after year and year, they are the smoke from the candle make the wall become dark and black. So they wash it. So I decide to do this. So this third carpet is making the dialogue between life, ritual, travel, and industry in Gimalais. Water was the essential element for the leather industry. Therefore, tank and canal of various dimensions are a major feature of the landscape beside the river. And at that time, nothing was waste, and everything was reused in the tanning industry. The Romans invented a crude soap that contained ash and fat from sacrificed animal. The painting on the wall inside this chapel room is showing after washing and cleaning. So my dirt carpet on the floor is made by this leftover leather material from this leather company and was arranged into pattern of metal as the tile design in Portugal. It represents my respect of the life cycle in various ways. So you can see I use some pattern like scissor and a tool from leather industry and some pattern from the tile. And this is the poster that made for the exhibition. So for the exhibition that got a very big opening, and all the artists who got selected for the competition exhibition, they all come around the world and join this event. And this is the main exhibition hall. You can see textile actually relate to many things. They can have many different kind of form, style, material, concept. And this is the opening of our exhibition. And this is other artists who did a residency with me. She made a giant big stone. This is Quebec artist. And this is a UK artist. So I become good friend with her because she's my roommate actually. So we exchange quite a lot of idea and experience. She say she's sculptor and she actually didn't know that she have to work with textile when she arrived Portugal. But she also got inspired by this washing laundry community. So she was using recycled secondhand clothes and mix with cement and make all these giant bowl. And this is her final presentation. And not just this location, she also installed some of her bowl in the city. And then, like for example, this bowl is next by the recycle bin. And every day, every morning, always someone pushing her bowl into next by this garbage bin. And this is another artist, Ida. And then I also have this other small exhibition. So this is a collaboration with French group called Fiber Art Faber. And this is an exhibition by Anne Hamilton. So she actually invite community people to join her project, and she hosts the performance and invites people to sing so they practice during that month, and they perform in this museum and also outside of the museum. The scale is pretty large. And this is another Israel artist. She used a lot of coffee bag. And in the end, we have this symposium. And the exhibition, they make this video that I can show you. Fiber. Okay, so far, any question in common?
The video is official video
Yes,
from ours.
too blurry.
No, it's okay.
It's a promotion for next year, then invite artists to submit their artwork. Because the main thing for this exhibition is competition.
Competition.
Yes, the earlier image that I show for this giant group exhibition is a competition. So they have award actually. So they will choose the prize for artists.
So you were a competitor. You win the prize.
I'm not because I'm residency artist.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, but the selection for choosing residency artists is also kind of competition. So they already choose me and they also support me as well. So I think it's like 50 euro per day for living.
Oh,
And all the material costing are free. I don't need to pay the Jakarta textile company, so I can create the work.
an airplane ticket.
No air ticket.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's very joyful for that project because I feel happy that I got to see all this process. Otherwise, other artists they only arrive in the opening before the day of opening of the exhibition, so they don't have a lot of chance to see what's going on in the summertime.
So you arrived there how many days before the opening?
I think it depends on what do you need to do. For example, like artists who do the landscape installation outdoor, she arrived like 1-2 weeks before. But some artists they just arrive 1 or 2 days before the opening. They
You,
only there for participate.
how many days before? When
Me,
yes.
about 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay.
Because
Thank
I
you.
have to create that installation. It's a
Okay.
lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, but after I make that work, the work belong to them. I cannot bring them back to Taiwan. So I actually have extra textile from the company. So I got some piece. Okay, so because I was showing my dirt carpet using leftover leather powder, so I'm going to show a little bit about my dirt carpet series. So this is the first one that I did in Thailand. At that time, the work called the loop. And I was also doing some field research and I saw so many basket using in their daily life. So my work was inspired from the experience, the architecture and temple during my stay in Thailand. It is very common to see the shape of a triangle roof and the T-top of the tower. The symbol of the triangle expresses the beginning, the midpoint, and the end, and often relate to the god, which can be found in many different ancient cultures. The sculpture is made by various daily bamboo baskets that all connected together by various sizes. It was drawn to the everyday life use of bamboo basket as a traditional technology and lifestyle. So you can see the image here are different type of basket I collect and I connect them. And the pattern on the ground are inspired by this textile. And the textile is a part of their traditional pasin skirts. So they will weave this part and sew it together with textile and then make it into the skirt. And the pattern they use for doing this is a pickup weaving technique. And the pattern all kind of relate to nature, like flower, bird, or water reflection, grass, wind blowing the water, something like that. This is a weaving studio. So I create this installation. So I invite people to come into the area and look at the sculpture, but at the same time, they will also step on my dirt carpet and the pattern will be arranged by their foot. So that's how I started this dirt carpet series. And I also did this dirt carpet in Turkey, in Istanbul. And I was inspired by the Kirin rock. So it's easy to find the geometry pattern everywhere in Istanbul, especially on the door, window, tiles, and Kirin rock. The installation used the plaster powder material from outside of the building that is under construction and transform the pattern from the architecture that have their own particular meaning relate to mysticism and astrology. So this is a city view outside of my window. And this is only like a one night event. So I create a dirt carpet and then people come and see and then they walk around and destroy it. And then I did another dirt carpet in Bangladesh. So this site-specific installation was constructed by a large number of bricks and waste brick ash on the floor with a repeating image of sewing garment tailors. It brings out the awareness of human rights and environment security that refer to the problems of modernization of the massive production around the world. And I did that because I was in Bangladesh for a project in 2008. And then in 2013, I saw this news about Dhaka garment factory collapse. So it's about the workers that were required to continue their job in dangerous environment. They were asking to continue working sewing garment inside the building. And it's killed over 1,000 employees eventually. And those employees are almost young women. So I was really touched by this news. So when I got invited to do this exhibition, I decided to make this work. I spent like a week just trying to move these bricks and ash from outside of the gallery. The gallery is located in a university, and next by the gallery there's a construction site. So there's many ash, brick ash, and this old man you see from this photo, he is actually selling tea to everyone. So he was there about a week also, watching every artist. I guess he probably see me just like moving this brick nonsense, doesn't know what am I doing, just for whole day, whole week. So this is the final day after I finished before the opening. He came inside the gallery and he looked at my work and he put down the teapot and the bucket and leaned over to look at the image on the floor. And then he looked at me and he used his hand to touch my head. We cannot really communicate, but at that time, I feel like he really understands how I feel and trying to say something. I was really touching at that time. And after that, I talked with people from Bangladesh, and they were actually saying this is sad, and people know that, but still this kind of issue, human rights, still happening around Bangladesh. They don't know how to solve this. People just don't talk about that. It's a short period of exhibition, and in the end of the exhibition, also invite people to work on it. And this is another dirt carpet I did. And this time I was using different type of material. So basically, dirt carpet series based on where the location and the culture and the concept what I want to present, and then I will choose the particular material to arrange the pattern as a carpet. So I was doing this residency in UK in Manchester, and I was inspired by their industry, history, and all these image I saw. So this is Jacquard loom. The Jacquard loom, the old one, was actually using this punching card to create a pattern. So my pattern design will relate to that. And this is one-day event in Science and Industry Museum. So I proposed to the museum director, I say, I want to use this material as a charcoal powder. I was actually worried that they don't let me do that because it will create a mess. And I want to use charcoal powders because how it's related to the industry revolution in Manchester, and at that time the whole city was smoky and dark. So I want to create that kind of atmosphere, gray air in the space. And after that, people can walk around, but they have to cover their shoes. And in the end, it's become like this. And of course, in old days, they were using coal for the industry, but I couldn't find the coal, so I used the charcoal powder instead. And during the presentation, the officer from the museum told me that actually he have to shut down the fire sprinkler system because the charcoal powder were actually creating smoky air in that area. So he's afraid that it will start up the water to spray in the whole museum. Okay, so that's the dirt carpet part. And now I want to share some of the unique experience that I did in India. So this is called Global Nomadic Art Project that I participate. It was organized by 3 organizations in India, and Yadu organization from Korea, but it was happening in India. And Global Nomadic Art Project started as an idea by a group of artists from South Korea, which has turned into a movement, traveling globally across continents to reinstigate men's awareness, concerning and responsibility toward our environment. So they are totally like 13 Indian artists and 23 artists from other country, and we were all getting together in this bus and travel around Gujarat in India. So Gujarat is this blue area. And the organization arranged the trip. So basically, not just introduce the culture, we also visit many different spots, environment. For example, we visit the institute in Ahmedabad. Here are all the artists and organization. And we host a workshop with students. And the point is we go into nature and we have to create art in the nature. And you can see wildlife, and the nature have different kind of landscape, forest, ocean, riverside, wetland, even nature park, observe the wild animal. And actually this is pretty funny. We were asking that we have to stay in this tank, the truck, because otherwise there will be lion or some wild animal coming out. We might be in danger. But in the middle, we see villagers just walk by. And we see sunrise, sunset. But what am I going to do in the nature? I have no idea. So I start doing some drawing and collecting some garbage in the nature and combine with my drawing. And this is our other artists. So you can see people, maybe they're moving rock or video. The artist working with video are just set up his tripod and taking some video or climbing around. Stack the stone. And actually I was like, I don't know what to do. So after that, of course, I observe other artists, seeing what kind of thing they're doing. And then I ask, for example, I ask artists, I say, you seems busy in this afternoon moving the rock around in the river. What were you doing? What kind of thing you're thinking? I don't know, what should I do? And then he told me, he said, I have no idea also, but I have to do something. So I just moving this stone around, try to have some feeling or some idea. So not just me and people collecting dry branches and put it on the top of the roof, or using tape create some pattern on the wall. But the point is, after we do something on that day, we have to photograph our work. We have to photograph our process, because in the end of the project, we have to present our work, present what we were doing during this time. And like this artist from Scotland, after she arrived at each location, she changed her shoes into rock climbing shoes, and she started climbing the tree. And I asked her, I say, what were you doing climbing this tree? And she say, because there are a lot of rock landscape in Scotland, and she used to do rock climbing every week, once a while. And she found there's no rock like that kind of rock that she can climb in India. So she start climbing a tree. And then, of course, in this wild landscape, you can find many thing like this, skeleton and skin from the snake. And in the beginning, when I saw this, I wasn't really thinking that much. But then one day I heard one Korean artist, she's very young, and she was like saying very shocked, like, oh my God, I saw some skeleton on the ground. Kind of scary. And the reaction from her actually inspired me that, of course, it's part of the nature, not just life, because we go around, we are looking for wild animal. We use telescope to search for the bird. And while we're searching the life, that is actually missed by us. So I start focusing on death. So no matter where we arrive, I start looking for skeleton and bone. And do something with this skeleton. And it's related to yin and yang, opposite. So I try to do something with them, document the process and the result. It's kind of experimental process as well. And of course, we got a chance to meet this villager, and this is local people. They were having all this gold. And they will use the goat wool to spin into yarn and do weaving textile. So we got to visit the weaving village and see how they create the craft. And also like this workshop is part of a batik textile. They were using wax to paint on the fabric so the color will prevent. And then they dye the clothes and sell them. And this is the nomadic tribe. You can see people, they were living in the desert with camel. And also the clothes that women are wearing are very beautiful. And the special part of this textile is they combine many different shape of mirror and embroidery. And mirror are kind of can reflect the nature, environment, and sun. So this is a kind of textile that you can see the detail. So this is a mirror, and outside are different type of embroidery. So I was inspired by that as well. So when we visit this location, it's called White Desert of Kutch. It's a salt marsh. So I start using my feet to create a pattern on this white desert because on the surface it's salt crystal, but under the crystal were dirt, and it's very obviously it's white and black. So I create this kind of like dirt carpet, but it's on the white desert. And the pattern were inspired by the embroidery pattern. And then we visit this location. So you can see the border here. And on the right side is India, but on the left side is Pakistan. So we were warned by the organization that we are not allowed to walk too far because there are some soldier walking around on this wall. And if they see anyone there, they could shoot you with their gun because they might think that you are smuggling from Pakistan. At that time, I strongly feel life and death. So I spent the whole afternoon collecting bone around the border. And this is how much I can collect in within 3 hours, 4 hours. So I had a bag and I found the bone and I put the bone inside my bag. And slowly, I start feeling the weight of the death. And then I found a missing part on the wall of this border. So I tried to use those bones to cover this hole. But of course, the hole is really big. I cannot really cover it. So after that, I create this work using embroidery to stitch the image of the bone from a human being skeleton to fill the hole. And then the final weeks, arrive this university, and then we have to create something for the final presentation, not just the photo. So everyone start working with their sculpture and anything that you collect. So I decided to build a sculpture related to this separation and border idea. So this is my inspiration from a villager. They were using these sticks to build this fence outside of their house to separate the garden and the road. So I start to collect different material like 5 elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Collect the scratch textile from the market and the cow dung and create this work called the fence. But actually, this work is totally nonsense because I'm not really separate anything. I want to throw out the question for people to think about separation and the idea of border. So this is the detail. And in the end, we have to choose 10 photos of what we did from the trip and show on this board. And this is the artist that I say she was climbing the tree everywhere. I quite like her idea, her concept. And this is other artists. So originally I want to show a video, but there's some conversation from the video. So I think you cannot hear, but it's on YouTube channel, so everyone can search and you can watch. So I'm going to continue the presentation, escape the video. Okay, so this is the last one I want to show everyone. It's also in India, and it's just right after I finished that global nomadic project in India. So this project is called Sipna Walk. It's also an open call for public art residency. They actually don't really support anything, but because I'm already in India, so I apply and got selected. And it's located in a small village and next by this river. The river is called Sipna Mata. It's also meaning the mother of the river. And it's organized by this bamboo organization. So because the whole thing is related to river, so they invite artists to worship the mother of the river and they arrange this event. So we all walk around the village and go to the river and then sing. So they also create this paper sculpture of the mother of the river in front of the truck. And then we go into a river and pray for the god. And this is a bamboo center. So the entire Bamboo Center has complete 25 years of work in Melgate. It is to educate the people of Melgate for employment. Throughout the year, many activities were taking place in the village. This work has strengthened the relationship of artisan worker with the local society and supportive friends. So you can see the architecture, they use a lot of bamboo, and they also grow bamboo in their yard and using bamboo to create the craft, anything. And this is the material that they already deal with from the bamboo. And this is some photo from the village. You can see people, they were sitting outside of their house and using tool to deal with this material, slice the bamboo, and then you can use them for weaving the basket and make them into daily life objects. They all have some function. And I was inspired by this woman. So I'm going to show you this video. And this is how they work. And here, actually, I have another video about river, but no music. So just showing the image for you. Okay, back to my PowerPoint. So where we live in this area that the bamboo center, they were actually trying to build a tourist center. So in the future, when people come visit, they can come here. So there's so many architecture are still under construction. You can see how they built. And they use the cow shit mixing with the straw and build a wall. And this is where we live inside this building. And actually, the first few days, even we don't have door, and everyone was complaining how cold it was in the midnight because the wind coming out from outside, and we were sleeping inside the sleeping bag. But the morning was really beautiful. You can see the sunrise, and during the night, there's no electricity. And even the water, the woman have to carry the water, and we have to use the basket to heat up the water to take the shower. So water is very limited at that location. And this is how we eat. We all gathering together at the same time, sit on the ground and using this leaf and the bowl made by this kind of like a kind of tobacco leaf. So everything is recyclable. And the village girl and men, they will come to our working area and they were just doing something there, doing what they have been doing every day, because the organization want artists to work with them, do something with them. It's kind of the collaboration with community. So I start thinking, what should I do? This residency is only 2 weeks and we have to create something. and artists including many different type performers as well, painter, dancer, musician. So everyone just think of what you can do. So I have the idea that I want to work with this craftsman. So this guy, he have been using these techniques making basket weaving for a long time. So I designed the sketch and I show him and ask him if he can do this shape. And then I built this sculpture in 3 days. But the point is they already spent time dealing with bamboo material. So I don't want to waste any material that they put so much effort into it. And after I create something I love, if they want to take down my sculpture, they can reuse the material again. They don't waste it. I don't want to waste the material. So he created this sculpture. Actually, it's kind of like a combining 2 basket shape together into this new shape. So I made a water top sculpture. And the guy who was making this water top shape for me, he was also quite happy because he never think that he can make some sculpture like that other than basket. So this is the detail. So this is the end before we were leaving the village. Yeah, so in the end, this is the final page of my presentation that if you like to know more about my residency experience, you can read this book.
这个书是 ISBN 的，就在架上的书，
对，
就在书店，哇，
对，
所以就我们可以买就是了，
对，
哇，太好了。
Thank you
所以那个报告就到这个地方。
是，
好，太好了，太好了。首先我们很谢谢康雅竹老师今天做这么精彩的丰盛的一个报告。我不晓得他去过这么多地方，他基本上是靠驻村环游世界了。就欧洲什么亚洲什么地方全部都去了这样子。
压力可是很大哎。
光哎。但是我先跟各位同学报告一下，就是说事实上我们国际处也有类似的补助。那我们之前真的没有想过驻村，因为我们做最多实际上就是学海飞扬跟学海逐梦。那学海飞扬跟学海逐梦就是说我们有哪些就有跟我们签约的学校，比如说签姐妹校或者签 MOU 的学校呢，那学员可以利用这个平台，然后学校补助，教育部补助，你可以去那个地方就交流。可是这交流基本上是在学校交流。那除此之外，我们还有另外一个补助，就是深耕计划的补助呢，可以去就考察。那这个考察呢，并就说你想要到什么地方做什么研究，你可以自己去，那我们就给你一部分钱，通常是就3万到就几万左右这样子的钱，这样，你可以做简单的考察。但我们没有想过驻村，我觉得驻村很重要，而且好像很有意思这样。也许我们可以想一想，就说找一些经费来辅导学生，让学生有一些基本的预算，然后去做驻村的事情。因为驻村的话，像刚康老师讲，他可能有一些驻村的计划是要申请，要经过就淘汰，可能要有一些简单的考试，然后就你选上之后呢，他就会给你补助。那你可能自己还要再出一些钱。那这样的机会，我觉得是非常难得，因为你可以同时到一个不同的国家去，然后混到不同地方来的艺术家。那我觉得这样的学习效果是非常好的，是很难得的机会。各位同学，我们现在还有就10几分钟的时间，你们有没有问题要问康老师？因为我觉得这个驻村的情况比我想象的精彩太多了，就不知道同学有没有什么问题要问老师的，请就尽量提问。那也许有什么需要国际处帮忙的地方，我们国际处也愿意趁这机会你们提出来，我们来想想看怎么帮你们做这样子。好，同学有没有问题要发问的？
同学可以露脸哦，不然我不知道在跟谁讲话。
吴怡，刚刚回答香皂是什么名字啊？是吴怡亮吗？还是怎么念？吴怡晶还是吴怡静？有怡静。怡静，你是老师吗？是同学？
不是， 我是学生。
哦，
我想
你好，对。
我想问说，就是会不会担心自己的外语能力的问题？因为我听老师说，就是康老师在研究所的时候，就是也那时候有想过外语的问题，但是不知道就是本人的想法这样，所以想要问老师的经验。谢谢老师。
我外语很烂呢、是这样慢慢训练，就是脸皮要厚一点呢、但是我觉得驻村它，语言虽然不是重点，但是它真的也蛮重要。因为当你不知道人家在讲什么的时候，有时候很难深入的交流下去。当然，你可以使用身体语言，但是就比较难讲到重点，或者对方可能就会觉得啊，我讲什么你都听不懂，不想跟你聊了，这样子就会比较可惜。所以我觉得有机会还是要增进一下语文能力。对，就多看电影啊。
多听流行音乐啦。
对。
或者说跟各位报一下，国际处也有课程，好像在做宣传，有一些那个网上的计划有一些 tutor 是English tutor in campus 的课程，你们可以来听我们不同的主题跟那个。那我们如果长期办，你们就这样听下来的话，那个语言进步会蛮快的。我跟各位报告一下，像我之前我是法文系毕业的，我法文很差。那我到法国去的前一个礼拜，什么都看不懂。我到地铁，那个地铁写推跟拉我都看不懂，所以我就根本没有办法出门，因为我跟推跟拉两个字我都看不懂，所以就很烂。可是我差不多3个多月，我就如鱼得水，行动自如，就还可以出国，知道就是很快一下就变你的了。你到那个环境就会真的是差很多。好，谢谢。好，我应该是应该是康老师来讲，不是我讲，不好意思。谢谢。你是纤维组的吗？对不起。
对，同学。
对，但我是大学生，我是大学部的，不是研究所这样。
哇，那你应该更有机会。对不起，
没有，我说就是要自己塑造那个环境啊，没讲，有时候就忘记了。
所以也是要常常。
对啊，我这里可是很多小抄啊。
没错。那就是我想问说，就是到国外驻村的时候，就是会有文化上的差异，就是应该说，就是有时候可能会遇到他们的价值观，可能跟我们自己想的不一样的时候，就是也是会去就是更了解当地的想法嘛，就是因为做作品的时候一定会需要用到自己的创作理念，然后就是这个时候就是因为要跟当地的人沟通，就是也会需要转换，就是在做成的时候这个问题就是就是不知道这会不会是一个问题这样。
它是一个问题，但它也可以是一个灵感的来源呢。因为你面对那个文化差异，你就会有不同的想法，那可能就是有可能是回应到你当下可能关注的事件，或者想要投射反应的状态跟想法。那就可以透过这样的表现，但是那个差异有时候在于执行的过程跟困难度，那你必须要跟对方沟通，而不是一意孤行的要好像完成自己的理念最重要，但是你必须要在当下的那个文化里是可以被接受的，所以彼此的沟通很重要。那你就要有一个可以弹性调整的那个 range。
谢谢老师。
康老师，我有一个问题， 就是我想问说，因为驻村的就是我想象国外生活一定很精彩，就是因为他们文化可能跟我们不一样嘛，然后我们会就是透过驻村就了解国外，然后可是我是想象说，会不会回到台湾之后，就是你会需要花费很多的心力去整理到国外的那些经验，然后或是说你要整顿自己的那个感觉，就是我在想说，有没有一个情况，就是可能内心会有一点害怕，就是会有害怕驻村这件事情吗？还是说就是会花多少的时间整理好自己，然后再重新启动这样子？
可是你的害怕是害怕到当地，还是害怕回来之后要花时间面对自己怎么调整？
应该是说那个地方他给予自己就是太多的资讯嘛，就是因为完全是不一样文化，然后完全不一样的那些就是技术啊，或是风景啊之类，然后就会觉得比如说可能到那边驻村，会不会希望自己可能有怎么样子的就是可能希望自己会做些，就是会预设说自己要做些什么事情嘛，然后可能就是不知道康老师在驻村之前有没有设想说自己到当地预计做什么事，然后怎么整理这样子？
当然会预设啊，但是预设计划永远赶不上变化。所以你去到当地，你要时常调整，所以通常出发前都非常的焦虑啊，因为你不晓得到时候会面对什么样的状况，那你要带什么东西出国，你要准备什么东西，所以与其说害怕，我觉得是焦虑啊，因为你害怕你就无法前进，所以你要化那个焦虑跟紧张跟担忧为力量，所以那个未知的状态才令人期待啊，因为你会觉得它充满惊喜。
那想问那个康老师，就是焦虑的部分是在
譬如说，我可能预设了我想要做什么样的作品，或者说，不晓得那个环境我可以找到什么样的媒材。那工具，譬如平常习惯使用的工具又太大，我又不可能带过去。那当地找得到吗？那如果都没有这些东西，我要怎么做？那时间这么短，我有办法在这样1-2个礼拜就生出一个作品吗？然后做了作品之后，大家都会看嘛。那大家说，康老师去那里驻村就有做那什么作品啊？这么不知道在搞什么之类，就是这全部都是焦虑啊。所以你就要适时的去调整跟面对啊。所以那个压力其实是很大。那完成之后你说回来台湾，你也是要调整那个心情啊，然后那些资讯量这么大，你就要花时间整理。所以其实我会写织物地图的书，就是因为我想要整理这些内容。那这些内容它不见得在当下的作品里可以呈现，或者能够说出来。所以透过这些文化整理，我一方面其实也在整理自己的思绪，然后来来回回这样子。对，这样有回答到你的问题吗？
有，谢谢老师。
感觉他书写是蛮有效的哦，就书写是一个很好的自我整理的一个方法，这样子哦。所以我觉得我们还有一点点时间，能不能有谁要问最后一个问题？我们最后一个结束，我们就可以说放康老师自由这样子。有没有同学要再问一个问题的？就是或者有同学要了解，如果驻村的话需要做什么准备，这些比较实际的问题的这些东西，或者说你们希望国际处做什么事情，那我们这样可以思考一下，帮学生就说架构这个平台的有没有？ 或者其他的同学都是暗装，只有刚刚这2个是真同学。
我突然想到，就是想问老师说未来有什么样的计划？就是因为感觉老师就是在纤维领域上，就是会做出应该是说，我觉得它可能会影响我们之后的人，比如说像是出书，就是会影响就是我们后进的同学，就是去可以更了解说纤维这个领域这样子。然后想要问老师，就是之后未来有什么样的想法跟计划这样？
未来哦，很多啊，当下的计划都处理不完了，它就会延续到未来。所以像我现在近期手边在进行的就是有蚕丝研究计划，然后接下来会执行麻纤研究计划，然后未来有机会也会执行羊纤研究计划。对，那这些计划就是都没有一定要什么时候完成，或者一定要什么时候开始，所以就是未来会是当下的时机点适合进行哪一个部分，我就会朝那个方面去进行，但也有可能是同步。
就是可能会不局限于台湾这样，就是也是会到各地去进行这些计划这样吗？
对啊，就是人生无设限。
好，谢谢老师。
不错哎，那你那个什么那个麻纤研究计划是什么麻？有特定吗？还是就是台湾的什么苎麻也可以？
有，所以其实麻纤研究计划我去年就开始了，
真的。
然后那去年麻纤的部分我主要是设定在台湾的苎麻纤维，然后田野采集的范围主要是在花莲
野生的吗？
都有，但是主要就是跟花莲猫公部落、港口部落的阿公阿嬷们学习如何去取纤，然后处理这些纤维，然后回应到纤维编织的这个身体劳动的部分，然后环境的部分。然后今年的部分就把麻纤研究计划延伸到东南亚，那预计会去泰国研究旱麻的部分。那麻纤其实它连接的是纤维的身体感跟精神的层面，那这精神层面它就涵盖在纤维处理过程跟大麻的部分，因为东南亚泰国的旱麻其实跟大麻是属于同一种植物，那它其实只是雄雌株不一样，那它就延伸到社会层面的讨论关于大麻合法化的这个部分。
哦，所以大麻也是一种麻。
对，它是麻。
哇，天哪！所以它多功能。
大麻科大麻属。
那苎麻可以抽吗？
苎麻可以抽啊，旱麻也可以抽。我不是你说抽烟的抽吗？
对，抽烟抽。
苎麻不能抽。
不能抽哦，好吧，很可惜。好，谢谢，太好了。同学有没有别的问题？现在时间是差不多了啦，就有没有其他问题要那个？那如果没有的话，我们就再一次谢谢那个康雅竹老师哦。我们要鼓掌吗？我自己鼓的。
谢谢弘毅老师。
谢谢。各位同学、各位老师，今天我们这场演讲就到这个地方结束哦。非常感激康雅竹老师，他真的是全程English， 不可思议，英文非常好。
断断续续。
我故意打断他用中文讲，这样不好意思。好，那我们今天就到这个地方哦，非常谢谢各位。好，那我们就下课，谢谢。好，拜拜。
好，拜拜。
拜拜。